Hello, welcome to session 5 of our series through Passiontide and Easter through the senses. This is also Maundy Thursday, the day that Jesus had the Last Supper with his disciples. And today we have 2 different stories that we'll be doing. Feel free to break it up, either do all of the video in a row or do one story in the morning, one story in the afternoon, however will fit your schedule best. But so that you're aware, there'll be one story and one activity, and then one story and the activity. So let's jump right in. The first story comes from John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. And in this story, we have something special that we can feel with our sense of feeling. So see if you can guess what it is as you're listening to the story. Right. It was almost time for the Jewish Passover feast. Jesus knew that it was time for him to leave this world and go back to the Father. He had always loved those who were his in the world, and now he was going to show his love to them to the very end. The devil had already put into Judas Iscariot to turn against Jesus. Judas was the son of Simon. Jesus knew that the Father had given him power over everything. He also knew that he had come from God and was going back to God. So during the meal, Jesus stood up, took off his outer clothes, and taking a towel, he wrapped it around his waist. Then he poured water into a bowl. And began washing the disciples' feet. He dried them with the towel that was around his waist. Jesus came to Simon Peter. But Peter said to Jesus,
"Are you going to wash my feet?"
Jesus replied, "You don't understand what I'm doing right now, but later on you will understand." Simon Peter answered,
"No, you are not going to wash my feet."
Jesus said, "If I don't wash your feet, you are not part of my people." So Simon Peter replied,
"Lord, after you wash my feet, wash my hands and my head too."
Jesus said, "After a person has had a bath, he no longer needs to clean all of his body, only his feet. And you men are clean, but not all of you." Jesus knew who would turn against him, and so he said, "Not all of you are clean." When he had finished washing their feet, he put his clothes on again and sat back down. Jesus asked, "Do you understand what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and that is right, for that is who I am. I, your teacher and Lord, have served you, have washed your feet, so you also should wash one another's feet. I did this as an example for you, so that you should do to one another as I have done for you. I tell you the truth, a servant is not greater than his master. A messenger is not greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, you will be happy if you do them." Now I wonder, which part of this story was your favorite? Remember, you can pause and take the time you need to discuss. I wonder which part was the most important. I wonder where you are in this story, or what part talks about you. I wonder if we could take anything out of this story and still have everything that we need. Our activity for today is, as a family, to wash each other's feet. That you can make this a solemn ceremony or a fun game, however you want to do it. You can have everybody taking turns washing everybody else's feet, or just one person washing everybody's feet. You'll need to get a bucket or a bowl, some warm water. I recommend warm, it's more comfortable. And some towels so that you can dry each other's feet. And as you're thinking, or as you're washing feet, try to imagine what it was like for the disciples, Jesus' followers, when Jesus was washing their feet. I wonder if it tickled. I wonder if they were uncomfortable. Maybe you'll be uncomfortable having somebody wash your feet. And after you're done washing each other's feet, you can think and talk about how Jesus gave us an example of how to serve one another. He served us by dying on the cross for us. Jesus is God, but he's also a servant. So have fun washing each other's feet. It will be a meaningful experience no matter how you choose to do it. And when you're done, you can come back for the next story. Okay, we're going to move to the next story, which also happened on this Thursday. This story comes from Luke chapter 22, verses 14 through 20. When the time came, Jesus and the apostles were sitting at the table to eat. He said to them, "I wanted very much to share this meal with you, this Passover meal before I die. I will not eat it again until it is given its true meaning in God's kingdom." Jesus took a cup. He gave thanks to God for it and said, "Take this cup and give it to everybody. I will not drink again from the fruit of the vine until I drink it again in God's kingdom when it comes." Then Jesus took some bread. He thanked God for it and broke it and gave it to the apostles. Then Jesus said, "This bread is my body that I am giving for you. Do this to remember me." In the same way, after supper, Jesus took the cup and said, "This cup shows the new promise that God makes with his people. The new promise begins with my blood, which is poured out for you." Now, I wonder which part of that story was your favorite. I wonder which part is most important. I wonder where you are in this story, or what part talks about you. And I wonder if we can take anything out of this story and still have all the story that we need. Forgot to give you a hint at the beginning of which sense we were looking for. You might have guessed it already. There were some special things to taste in this story, specifically the bread and the wine. So the activity for this story is to either make or get some bread. If it can be a little bit special than just normal bread, that would be great. But if not, I understand. There's a shortage on flour, and we might not be able to go to the store and get some special bread. But take whatever bread you have and break it and share it and eat it with each other as a family. Jesus and his disciples were eating a special meal called a Passover Seder. And during this meal, the Israelites would remember many things that God did for them when in their past, in their history. So Jesus takes that bread in the meal and gives a new meaning to it. and tells his friends what God will soon be doing. What did he do with the bread? That's right, he broke it. Jesus had already told us, you can find it in John chapter 6, that he is the bread of life. And so he uses the bread to show us that his body would be broken on the cross for us. When we eat the bread, let's imagine what it was like for the disciples and for Jesus to be eating that meal together. Let's think about what Jesus' followers thought when he broke the bread and gave it to them. Look out, we'll have a session of 4 stories tomorrow for Good Friday. So we're getting closer to Easter Sunday, and God bless. Bye.